Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and of course that's all going to change mid-March when we go messing with the time. Arizona stays the same, so it's always 12 o'clock Arizona Mountain Standard Time. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, I am proud to be sponsored by BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They are an online counseling company, international. So if you are in the UK, you're in France, you're in Italy, you can get on there, fill out some information, and be put with an American therapist, which is awesome because I'm hearing there's a huge wait in the UK. If you're in a small town, and we are going to be talking about a small town today. If you're in a small town, you don't want to see the therapist that is in the small town, or you want a better therapist, like you don't like the therapist that's in your small town, you don't want to have to drive 3 hours to the nearest big city, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. I'll put the information down below. They will hook you up with a licensed professional counselor in your state. All of the counselors are master's level or PhD level. They are all licensed, so it is all kosher and good to go. So, and it's affordable. That's the thing that I like about it. I think it's like $65 for a package of 4. So it's actually very affordable. So anyway, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom! Shakalaka done. Okay, let us get into the questions. Chris, are you a fan of Louise Hayes? Yes, I am. I like her a lot. Okay. I have overeducated myself on narcissism and feel almost healed fully from my past relationship. Why do I once in a while feel badly for how things turned out? Is it trauma bonding showing up? It could be, but honestly, I think it's because we're human, and even though we now understand and recognize what's going on, it's human nature to kind of go, it really sucks the way this ended. It really sucks the way they behaved. It really sucks that it couldn't have been different, right? So that in part that's normal. The thing you want to be careful of is making it your fault, however, because more than likely it's their fault, especially if they are narcissistic and unwilling to work on themselves and unwilling to go to counseling and unwilling to fill in the blank. So yeah, so it's kind of human nature, when we let go of a relationship, when we let go of a friendship, when we let go of a family member, it's kind of like every once in a while you get that kind of, that really sucked. I'm really sorry it had to end that way, but it had to end that way because otherwise it would be the trauma, the abuse cycle, the clock that I talk about, it would be that all over again. So yeah. So when that happens, when that thought pops up, you just got to remind yourself it ended the way it needed to, and now you're moving on. And it sucks for them because they're stuck in their mire of self-hatred and self-pity and whatever else they're doing, and you're moving on. So go you. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's human nature to do that. So it could be the trauma bonding, but I doubt it. It's probably just the kind of wouldn't it be nice if everybody got along kind of thing. So, all right. Are the traditional romantic ideals bad for survivors of abuse? Yes. Let's talk about that, shall we? And I kind of mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it this week or a couple of weeks ago. In romance novels, there's usually a lot of love bombing going on. There's usually the 2 main characters that are supposed to fall in love. One's just a complete and total jerk, and the other one's totally in love with him or doesn't like him, and then all of a sudden they realize that they were meant to be together, and it's the typical stereotypical romance novel, right? And then they fall madly in love, and there's a villain, and then they have to fight against the villain, and then they, live happily ever after. So they make it, the traditional romantic values that we've been raised with are very, very, very unhealthy because in almost every single rom-com, it's that formula, or there's a lot of love bombing going on, and it's just not healthy. So in a healthy, normal relationship, in a healthy romance, there is, kind of a little bit of the infatuation phase, but you're not spending every single waking moment with that person, and you're not going over the top, love letters, flowers, dates every single night, not allowing the person to have any space or time. So a narcissist will love bomb and overwhelm the person. And of course, the person goes, oh, they really love me. They want to spend all their time with me. Well, a healthy, normal person needs time apart. They need time to do their own thing. So yeah, I think the traditional ideals of quote unquote romantic love are very detrimental, because real relationships, real romance is a friendship caught on fire. That's really what it is. It's like you've known each other, you've played together, you've gone through traveling and tragedies and life, and it's a friendship first and foremost. And then there's that extra added bonus of, ooh, and I really like this person, romantically, sexually, whatever. So that is really the ideal relationship, is a friendship first, which, listen to me now, believe me later, takes time. Whereas a love bomber, a narcissist, will come in and be like, now, everything now, everything now. And it's like, no. A friendship is like, how do I explain this? It's like when you're cooking, you don't rush it. You let it simmer, you let it do what it needs to do, and then it will eventually be time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a friendship caught on fire. It is respect, and it is really knowing the person and really respecting the person. And when things go south, working on it, not just abandoning the relationship, not just, oh, they figured out who I am, peace out, which is what a narcissist does. So you really want to work on it. It's worth it. Relationships do, in fact, take work. They do. Now, obviously, it's not going to be, and let me just caveat this, it's not the work that you see in the romance novels where it's like, the heroine or the hero has to work so hard for that person to love them. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have to do your own work. You have to have your own boundaries. You have to have your own self-esteem. You have to have good communication skills. You have to be willing to clean things up. You have to be willing to go, what was my part in this? Let me clean this up. Okay, great, good. Okay, I've asked for forgiveness. I've made amends. It's not going to happen again. Moving on. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's work. It's like, but it's work on us. Okay, it's not work on changing another person. It's work on us. So, and it means being and accepting personal responsibility for what we say and do. And our actions and our words have to match. So that's what a relationship is. So, yeah, I do think that the traditional romantic, idea of, I'm going to meet the prince or princess of my dreams and suddenly everything is going to be, sunshine and roses and unicorn farts. I think that's really unrealistic. Or the idea that you have to strive and it has to be hard and you have to work for it. No, I don't, no, that's not healthy either. So I do think that we really need to rethink the healthiness of this idea of traditionally romantic love, especially in our society. Okay. I feel like I can't trust, and I feel like I have perceived threats. So I'm having a hard time deciding what is just a perceived threat and what is a real threat. So here's the thing. Perception is everything. And a perceived threat, remember this is the amygdala going, trigger, oh my gosh, this reminds me of this, that, or the other thing. My hair is doing weird things. My amygdala is going, oh my God, this thing reminds me of this danger that I experienced. Threat, danger, tells the hippocampus hypothalamus to release cortisol. Then we start tensing up, and then it either leads into a panic attack or an anger attack. So a perceived threat. Perception is everything. If you are perceiving something as a threat, this is when you need to investigate and go, why? Why am I perceiving this as a threat? Is this a trigger? Okay, what does this remind me of? Let me journal about this. Where did this come from? Why am I feeling this? What's happening? And it's just something to investigate. It's like, is this something I need to be paying attention to? Is this a red flag, or is this just something from my past? And this is where CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, comes in. This is where self-esteem work comes in. Trusting your gut. So this is the thing that we as targets of abuse don't do, is we don't trust our gut, because we were told, especially if we were raised by abusive parents or an abusive parent, you know, we could see the dysfunction, and yet we would be told, no, you don't see the pink elephant in the corner of the living room taking a dump. You don't see that, even though we could see it. And of course, when you say, hey, no, I see it, we'd get hit, we'd get punished, we'd get told to shut up, we'd get, you know, whatever. So really, the biggest thing for abuse survivors is to trust your gut. Seriously, work on that. And you start with small things. So for me, I don't like peanut butter. I hate peanut butter. I, however, like Reese's peanut butter cups. So if I ask my gut, do you like peanut butter? It's like a visceral kind of, you know, it's like, no, thank you. But if I ask my gut, do you like peanut butter cups? Yes. And there's no story. So the head and the heart tell stories. These two are like, blah, 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 a whole bunch of story. Yes, this, no, that, blah, blah, blah. But what about this and what about that? The gut is just a yes or no answer to a yes or no question. So you start on working on trusting yourself. So it's hard to trust other people because we've seen that the abuser is not trustworthy, and we don't trust ourselves. So we have to work on trusting our own gut instincts and having our self-esteem rock solid. So the Self-Esteem Workbook, Glenn Schiraldi, Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker, You Are a Badass, Jen Sincero. These are all great books, and I want you to start practicing. You know, ask your gut simple questions that you already know the answer to. And so when you're stuck with a dilemma and you ask your gut and you recognize the yes answer feeling and the no answer feeling, it's going to be easier for you to start trusting yourself. So, and that's why it's hard to trust other people, because we don't trust ourselves. So it's really a good idea to start working with a good trauma therapist and start working on trusting your gut. So there is that. How do I accept compliments? I feel weird when somebody compliments me. Totally normal. And again, the reason being is because if we were raised in a family that shamed us, that made us wrong, that put us down, that didn't give compliments, or if the compliments were always, how to explain, strings attached, like they wanted something, or they were backhanded, so, you know, kind of like damning with faint praise kind of thing. So we learned very early on not to accept compliments, or not know how to accept compliments, because we were always kind of like, wait, is this real? Do they want something? What's happening? I don't know. So really the best way to start accepting compliments is to start working on positive affirmations for yourself. Get used to saying nice things to yourself in the mirror. Hi, good to see you. Have a great day. You look fabulous. I want you to be happy today, or I want you to love yourself today, or I want you to stop criticizing yourself today, or something positive. Does that make sense? So if you start working on that, it's going to become easier and easier to accept it from other people. Now, again, the world is filled with users out there, you know, abusers and users. So you're going to have to start trusting your gut. Is this compliment a genuine compliment, or are they doing this because they want something? And eventually you're going to start being able to discern the difference. So, and what you do when someone gives you a compliment is you just say thank you and let it in, you know, whether it's genuine or disingenuine, you know, you just let it in. And then you start, realizing, wait, does this person want something? Does this person not want something? Oh, they don't want anything. Oh, this was a real compliment. Oh, okay. So, you know, it's just practice. It's just practice. Again, it's work with complimenting yourself. Write yourself a love letter. Have fun with it. This is what I tell my clients all the time. When you're working on inner child, write your inner child a love letter. Hey, little one, you're awesome. I love the way you play. I love the way you laugh. I love the way, you just love letter. Some people have a lot of fun with it and they start doing it in the style of a Civil War letter. My dearest Alicia. It's like, just have fun with it. Allow yourself to enjoy complimenting yourself and allow yourself to enjoy compliments that you get. It's okay. What I often hear from people is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, if I accept compliments, that means I'm a narcissist. No, it does not. So narcissists need constant admiration and they ask for it. They do. They're like, tell me I'm great, tell me I'm great, tell me I'm great. So it's other esteem, okay? Allowing a compliment in is a gift. Think of it that way. When somebody gives us a compliment, they are literally giving us a gift. It's a verbal gift, and it's letting you know, hey, I see you. I see what is good about you. I see what is awesome about you, you know? So, or even if it's just a compliment about, wow, I really dig your shirt, you know? It's like, hey, that shirt looks good on you. I like that shirt, you know? And that's a great compliment. So it's hard for us to let things in, because if we've had the family that was like, no, you can't say anything nice about yourself, or you're not humble if you accept a compliment, or whatever that controlling BS was, then you got to start working on that. Allow yourself to accept the compliment. It's okay. It's okay. So maybe that's something to do mirror work about. Hi, good to see you. Have a great day. You know what? It's okay to accept compliments. It's okay. And then walk out. You know, so that is something for us to start working on. So it is hard for us because we've been told either we didn't get complimented, or it was a backhanded compliment, or there were strings attached, you know, or, you know, they wanted something. So, you know, it is really hard for us. And this goes back to trust. But then again, it goes back to trusting your own gut. What is this? Does this feel genuine? Does this not feel genuine? You know, and even with disingenuine compliments, you just say, thank you, you know, and move on. So yeah, so there's that. Okay. What do I do? I live in a small town and I cannot leave, and there are flying monkeys. Whew. Well, okay. That is a difficult situation to be in. So basically what you're going to have to do is you are going to have rock solid boundaries, like seriously, like rock solid. You're going to have your self-esteem also rock solid. So in a small town, I grew up in a small town. Everybody knows everybody else. Everybody talks. Everybody's they all up in everybody's business. You know, they just are. They're just, ugh. It's a small town. There's nothing to do. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be okay with the word no. And you're going to have to mean it. And you're going to have to be okay with confrontation. So when you've got flying monkeys that are coming at you in a small town, they're looking for information. And they're looking to do the bidding of whoever the abuser is, whether that's a family member or an ex or a boss or whatever. So when somebody comes at you and wants information, or wants to start talking about the issue, or wants to start talking about the family, you just tell them point blank, I'm not discussing this with you. Thank you. How you doing? How's Paul? You know, it's like you change the subject and you just start talking. So it's really important to just point blank, no, I'm not discussing this. Or, you know, if they're like wanting to do, well, what happened? You know what? I'm really not interested in discussing this. Thanks so much. How about them Dodgers? You know, and if you do something like that, it's pretty obvious you're not going to be discussing this with them. Some people don't take no for an answer, in which case you go no contact. Now, if it keeps upping, right, and they're harassing, they're calling, they're texting, they're driving by your house, they're being inappropriate, they're being harassing, you're probably going to have to file an order of protection against them. In a small town, this could be difficult to do, not impossible. But it definitely gives them the message of you're not putting up with this. So, but generally what I find, they're minor narcissists. Flying monkeys are minor narcissists to the major narcissist, and they tend to be cowards. And as soon as you very loudly say, I am not discussing this, thank you, and just go about your day, they'll tend to leave you alone. The other thing you're going to want to do is gray rock, you know, oh, look at the time. Gotta go, bye, you know, and you get out of that situation as quickly as you can. Yeah, you're going to run into them. Yeah, they're going to be jerks. Yeah, they're going to want to talk about stuff. Yeah, they're going to want to deliver messages. So that's the other thing. So two things that flying monkeys do, they are either pumping you for information, or they are wanting to deliver a nasty gram from the abuser, and in which case you just don't play. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. And then you just keep moving. So yeah, it is difficult in a small town. It absolutely is. The best advice would be to get the hell out of there. But if you can't, then you're going to have really good self-esteem and really good boundaries. And that means not being afraid to say no. That means not being afraid to have a bit of a confrontation. So you don't want to give them emotion, but you also don't want to give them any information. And this is another thing you need to keep in mind. When you are telling your friends, like your people, your friend, your support group, right? You got to let them know, hey, there are some flying monkeys here in town. I do not want my business being drug out all over the place. Please do not tell them about anything I am doing. They are not to know anything. Like, seriously, they are not to know anything. So remember, abusers like to do the triangulation of communication, which is what I'm going to be talking about on Sunday. They also need the drama triangle. They need drama the way the rest of us need oxygen, okay? So especially in a small town, it's the greatest entertainment that they have is they can single out a person and gossip and, you know, get information from other people. So you just basically, you circle the wagons and you let them know, my information is not to be given out. I am not to be talked about. My business is my business. Thanks for playing. And you just don't give into it. Okay, let's see. I think that is it. Okay. All right, guys. So this week on We Need to Talk, I will be discussing the drama triangle and the triangulation of communication, the two of the favorite ways that flying monkeys and narcissists love to stir up trouble, and how you can completely and totally avoid that and why they do it and all that sort of good stuff. So, all right, guys, have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.